All right, everybody. I'd like to welcome to the show Jon Tilley, the founder of Zonguru, which is kind of one-stop shop, keywords, listing, optimization, kind of all-in-one Amazon software suite. Welcome to the show.
What's up, man? I'm glad to be on with you, and I know this ride is going to be jam-packed with a lot of energy because you bring it, and I love it. So yeah, I'm,
Nice.
I'm, I'm ready, dude. I got my coffee. I got my water. I'm ready, bro. Bring it, bring it.
Awesome. Yeah, I think we did an interview. I guess you were interviewing me briefly on some topics, and so yeah, I mean, I figure, look, the world needs energy. You know what I mean? Like, especially 2020, we got to pump up the jam. We got to get busy. We got to get to work. So anyway, and I know you have been. I mean, you have done private label. You have the software. You got a lot going on. So maybe you could just tell us like how you got started in this whole Amazon world.
I did something bad in my life, and life said, do Amazon. No, I'm just kidding. um, Man, it's a journey, but I've been in advertising for many years. That was my previous kind of corporate gig.
Mm.
I grew up in South Africa. I'm from Johannesburg. Lived in London. Worked with some really big brands over there. Gillette was one of my big brands. Budweiser was another one. Burger King. These really big brands, and during that whole process, I transitioned from kind of traditional advertising into the e-commerce world. And when I landed up in Los Angeles,
What year?
uh,
What year is this?
so this is when I landed up in Los Angeles, there was like 2006, 2007.
Oh,
So I've
wow.
been
So you're doing advertising prior to that, right?
prior to that, yeah. So it's been a good gig. But in 2006, I came over. Worked with some big brands over here as well, and transitioned into, um, funny enough, doing like enterprise level software as part of my division. I was overseeing a team that was doing some pretty big kind of reservation software for one of our big clients at the time. So I started to get into this whole world of software. By no means coding at all, but just overseeing teams.
You doing
Developing that.
project management, or you doing what were you doing in
I
that?
was like head of strategy at that time. So building the team, hiring the team,
What
putting.
company is this?
This was an ad agency. It was called Phelps in Los Angeles, and one of our big clients at the time was Public Storage, which is a blue chip client, and we were kind of developing their reservation system. Um, Anyway, this was a great career, and I enjoyed it, but this whole entrepreneurial bug was always there, and I was extremely frustrated, because I never pulled the trigger. I had all these ideas, and I had this amazing, you know, kind of corporate 9 to 5 job, and it was hard to make the jump. And
Mhm.
I'd always done things on the side, mostly around like event management, through some big underground parties in London, kind of
Oh, okay.
hide out, hide out some
Passing
tunnels.
out flyers. What do you mean? What do you event management?
Legit passing out flyers, getting these underground parties going, getting just as wasted as everyone else. It was fun times. So I got it was I can't remember what it was called, like U2 Productions, I think is what it was called. It was like from us to you, like a good kind of party. Um,
Wow.
Vibe. And I'd done a lot of that stuff, but never managed to make the leap. And in 2014 is when it happened. I ended up at Vegas, at one of these conventions by complete chance, and the penny just dropped. I was like, wow, like this is literally an opportunity to create a product based income where you can create
Was
these
that
brands.
Amazing Selling Machine? Amazing Selling Machine Summit thing or no?
I think it was like AS6 or something like that. And there's two pennies that dropped. One is how not to teach people to create businesses on Amazon. That was very clear. It was like, this is not the way to teach people. At that time it was still that, like, hey, this is easy, yada yada yada, and that was definitely not. And then the second one was like, this is absolutely something I can scale and grow. and create and bring my creative energy to creating private label brands on Amazon. And do that while I've got I didn't have to jump ship. I could do this while I was doing my
Yes.
9 to 5.
That's just something I tell people all the time. Like, and I listened to a guy who today sold a business for $1 billion on from a podcast. But he's like, look, just replace your income you have now. Do the side business and like make enough money as you're making in your day job. Like, don't quit your job to go do it. And like, no. And that's also a Grant Cardone thing he talks about is like, don't ever like don't ever lose money. Don't drop your income. Like, don't do that kind of shit. Just no. So I agree with you fully. So you did it on the side, which is smart. That's what I did.
Yeah, I did it on the side, and I think some of the key things which helped me is the most important thing to do that is just consistent action, right? Plan out where you want to launch, how much you want to make, work out the steps, and then every week just say, hey, I'm not going to go crazy, but I need to do this one thing. And then next week, the one thing. And all of a sudden, it was 6 months later, and I was like, damn, I have an Amazon business, and it's going and it's good. And,
how much in 6 months? How much did you go from like 0 to 6 months, 6 months of selling?
Yes, 0 to 6, 0 to, it was probably about 0 to 8 months in selling. And on the 8th month, I was doing 50K a month, so it was like,
Woo!
I was like, okay, I'm good. So, at that 50K a month, I was good to leave, and I was done corporate anyway, and I was like, I could have probably stayed on a little bit, but I was ready to go. I packed my box, I wasn't crying, I was smiling. Everyone else was crying, so that was good.
That's a good sign. That's a good sign, right? I mean, I think
Yeah.
it's great. And people talk about this corporate thing as like, oh no, like you're making the man fat, or you're gonna like make these people rich. I'm like, like stop. It's not a fight, dude. It's not a fight. If you can do good at your job and help someone else make money, that's a skill that you then could use for yourself, or you just do a good job. Like people, if you're leaving, if people are sad, that's a good sign, guys. Like you're supposed to do your job, and you're lucky. Like people that are employed are lucky to have jobs and
Mhm.
not be without a job, right? And that's the job, let's say, of the hirer or the whatever, the owner is creating jobs. And like, I think that people sometimes take it for granted. Like, oh no, like I work as low as possible. I do all this. Like, no, do a good job because you're going to need to continue to do a good job in your own business, right? If you're a good employee, then you're going to also be able to make a good owner. Like you need to do a good job all the time. So anyway, it's just the thing that you said, like people are sad you're left. That means that you obviously were doing a good job, which means then you can do a good job in your own business. You know what I mean? Like discipline.
Yeah, I mean, you've got it. You've got it hands down. Always do a good job. Or if you're not doing a good job, leave because it's not the right place for you, or for that. So
Yeah.
that's if you're not doing a good job, it's probably because you're just not in the right place.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I left, and through that transition, I was building the Amazon business, but the friend that I started that business with ended up being my co-founder, and his name's Adam Hudson. He's got an education business based out of Australia, teaching people how to create proper businesses on Amazon and e-commerce. And his idea was like, hey, I'm going to go start this. Why don't you start the software to support my education company, and that can be a good foot in the door, but then just grow it beyond that. So I was like, cool, I'm good. I was getting a lot from Amazon. But this idea of creating a software company and bringing that talent and that skill that I'd learned into building the services side of it, and to build something that we needed at that time, because this is 2014. There wasn't much at all. I think Jungle Scout had just launched their Chrome extension.
Wow.
We started building, and it's it's been from like crazy bad code that we bootstrapped, that was just terrible to try and manage. Trying to get little meetups going in the back of pubs to get people to sign on to Zonguru. Just like real bootstrap. Watching to see if I could get one sign up a day. That kind of stuff. That was where it started. But we've grown over the years, and number one, we brought on we have an excellent developer team now, and a CTO who's amazing, and he's a partner, Stefan. He's actually based in Eastern Europe, but we have a full team out there now. We have an amazing marketing product team and an amazing product, that we've built over time. So I'm really proud of it, and I think we just were voted on sellerpoll.com as top 2 softwares in the space, voted by Amazon sellers. So it's a really good feather in the cap that we've come a long way. We are an all-in-one tool set, but most important is we're providing value to customers, and we're getting known for the way that we find and validate niches, which is a key part. But then even bigger than that is how we actually do our keyword research and listing optimization using our tools to really maximize the traffic. People are getting a lot of value out of those 2 specific tools out of the 15 that we have.
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of where we're at. Yeah.
Great. No, that's amazing. And you said you are or you aren't an all-in-one.
We are.
You
Yeah.
are an all-in-one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Okay.
So we have 15 different tools, obviously, to help you at each phase of your Amazon business: research, launch, scaling. But in terms of, when I say all in one, it's like, okay, well, there's,
Yeah, a lot of stuff. And I think all-in-one, I think is maybe not 100% all-in-one, because there's a lot of stuff. For example, like there's the ads piece, right? And so we talked about that. We have Samurai Seller, the ads, and we have the profit tracking, which I think, we do that extremely well on the Samurai side. And we in our company, we use Zonguru. We've actually switched over to Zonguru. We've used a lot of different softwares for like keywords and listing optimization, things like that. We actually have switched over because I really like it for the listing optimization, for the keywords, and not only is it good in terms of kind of the interface, in terms of the data, but one thing I like about it, it's pretty easy to use, easy to go back to it. It's not kind of cluttered. And believe it or not, I know Helium 10 is a big player in the space. I've actually probably signed up for Helium 10 probably for 2 months out of my entire career. I haven't been big on Helium 10. I know people who use them, and when I went to you guys recently, I was just trying it out, and I was pretty impressed with the way that you guys do the keywords and the listing optimization. So we're again switching over right now. So I definitely do endorse you guys. We have a product that we launched, and I think I told you about it. We did the research in your tool. We launched it I want to say we launched it 2 to 3 months ago, if not further. And yesterday, the product did about $1,100 of profit. So it's a huge deal. That's like a fantastic, amazing product. It's one of our top products now. And that was the first product we did after the switch. So I think that anyway, I'm just kind of endorsing you guys, and I would like you to go into some stuff, but just letting you know.
No, thanks. That's really good to hear. I think with Keywords on Fire and our listing optimization tools, I think you will find keywords and opportunities that simply your competitors haven't found. You'll understand how to beat your competitors, how to target specific keywords, and how to optimize and maximize the traffic that you need, and done in an efficient way, because we bring, Helium 10 might have 3 or 4 tools you need to use. We just use one, and it does it all for you. I think ease of use is really important. That kind of goes back to my advertising and kind of web background when I used to run that, because when we started Zonguru, I was like, no matter what, we're going to have like the best UX, because we're a software company. It has to be amazing, and there's a lot of stuff out there that isn't great. So that's good to hear. And we just did a case study as well with Stefan, our CTO, and just the challenge was, hey, how can we take a flatline listing that's not doing great on sales and just use listing optimization and PPC and see if we can bring that back to 6 figures. And it's a really cool case study that we just completed. So, the point I'm making on that is that there's so many ways to kind of get outside traffic, to generate, to look outside of Amazon to try and get your conversions and your sales, right? But at the end of the day, if you really understand how to do listing optimizer properly and PPC, and you have a great product, you can make that work, and 100% you can just use that. So I think the advice on that is, don't always, when you're struggling, don't always look beyond. Answer the question: have I truly understood and understand how to really maximize my listing? And do I truly understand how to use PPC properly? And if you can answer yes to both of those, fine, look beyond. But if you haven't really unlocked that,
Yep.
stop there.
Or if you think you've unlocked it, go ask someone else to look at it, because you haven't. Okay, if it's not selling, you have not unlocked it. I mean, period. With just your listing being on point and ads, almost any product can sell. We saw a lot of like quote unquote Me Too products, although we don't think of them as Me Too because one, our supplier is awesome. We vet them. We have the guarantees. We do a lot more things, but we have products that are, let's say, a lot of them are not patented or not, let's say, different than others, and they're just, our listings are better. I mean, we sell sometimes 2, 3x, 4x, 5x to competitors, sometimes probably even 10x competitors. And it's maybe the same quote unquote product. Again, it's not the same really, but it's very similar. And the difference is that listing. And what I tell people all the time in person, I don't know how much I've talked about this on the podcast. So anyway, people just pay attention to this. If you're having issues with sales, what you need to do is open up your listing. Just click on it, look at it, and you'll find why people aren't buying. Oh, the number 1 review is a 1 star. Okay. Oh, wow. The images are terrible. Oh, wow. Look at the competition. His image is like super sexy. Yours is blurry or out of focus or just ugly or whatever. Like literally just look at it. Oh, your question answers. The first question is, hey, my product broke in a week. Can I get a warranty? And then someone says, no one answers. Like that's your top question. You go, okay. Like there's some things where if you just open it, you'll see. But I think with this tool, you take the next step, which is you, of course, can look at the listing, but you only see what the customer sees. But I think with Zonguru and what, correct me if I'm wrong, but you could actually put your listing in, and then you put in like 2, 3, 4, 5 competitors in, and then you're able to look at all of them at once and say, hey, what keywords do they have that we don't have? And then add all those in. So as I advocate all the time, open your listing and look at it. Well, Zonguru will be like, open up 6 listings and you can look at all of them at once. And that's kind of one of your strong points.
Yeah, exactly. Because you want to be the best you can be, but you want to be better than the competition, right? So this tool at least rates the competition. You get an optimization score for each of the listings. And then you can see all the keywords that you want to really target. And then, hey, how are my competitors optimized for this? Which ones are doing a good job? Which ones are not? And if the ones that are doing a good job steal their shit, and if they're not, then you know how to beat them, right? So and also you get another cool feature is you can actually see the back end keywords, so you can see all the other competitors and what keywords they're putting in their back end. Are they putting?
So we did the software and I saw the loophole on that. I thought that loophole had closed. You can't see that anymore.
You can with us, yeah. So we know how to. I mean, this is the one thing with 5 years of development experience and working with Amazon, we kind of know how to get there. So
and it's not obviously like an open API. You're using some kind of secret little thing.
I mean, look, the thing with Amazon is it's not this amazing, sophisticated, cutting edge technology company with everything perfect. Like when you look at Amazon's API, it's a complete mess. And you kind of have to know where to find stuff. So we figured out how to find stuff. Yeah. But yeah, you can see that. Yeah, and
you're getting it newly, right? This is not like you scraped it once and it closed and now you have the old data.
Exactly. Yeah, we still get it. Yeah. The other thing, just on your point there about opening up your listing, one of the best things you can do if you're scratching your head on why you're not getting conversions is it's kind of that forest from the trees syndrome, right? You're looking at your listing, you think everyone understands exactly how to use your product and stuff. Get a friend, send them an email, give them the use case, and put them in the mindset of saying, hey, you are buying, this pull-up bar, my pull-up bar to put up in your house. Go through the exact exercise of, if you had to put this in, where would you put it? How would you put it? Where would you hang it? And then look at my product and see if it answers all your questions. Because I guarantee you there's questions there that might be the difference between someone buying your product or not buying it, that you haven't answered in your listing, that could completely change your conversion rate. For example, what is the distance between the screws or something like that on the a simple listing with dimensions or an image with dimensions, but having the right dimensions that people actually need to know to be able to put it up. If those are missing, no matter how much they like your product, they're not going to buy it. So do that exercise. Get someone to go through the process of buying your product and saying, hey, where are the holes? What am I not answering that would make you not buy this product? And usually that helps massively on conversion rate.
No, I agree with you. That's fantastic advice. And I'll tell you, our first product that we launched, I remember back. This is 2015 when, first of all, it was totally okay to just give away your product and get a review. That was like kosher back 2015. But anyway, I remember I was going to friends of mine and I was showing them the picture on Amazon, and I was like, hey, could you buy this for me? You know what I mean? And leave me a review, which again was totally legit at that time. Anyway, and so I remember this one specific incident that this person was like, no, I don't want it. I'm like, what? Like, what do you mean you don't want it? It's free. Like, what are you talking about? And it ended up that there was a specific concern with the product because they said that this material type, right, it was going to break on this product. And I was like, no, it's not made out whatever. Like, it's not plastic. Like, the thing is super heavy duty metal. She's like, oh, okay, I'll get it. And so at that point I go, oh, I changed the image, like made it a little more shiny. And I put like the word metal, like at the very beginning of the title, and the sales like took off. And so just talking to people, there's another instance. And again, I'm just talking about this just to reiterate, guys, like do what this guy's saying. Go and show it to a friend. Go through the checkout process. Go like, what are your questions? Why would you buy it? Why wouldn't you buy it? Learn, because for example, I had someone else who at the time was selling way more than me, more than us on Amazon. And I said like, oh, check this out, read it. And one of them was like, the bullet, let's say it was something like, for example, the pull-up bar. It was like assembles in 5 minutes or something, right? And they're like, 5 minutes? That's a long ass time, And I was like, damn, I thought it was so fast, She's like, no, just assembles quickly. So I changed it from like, the assembles in 5 minutes to like assembles in seconds, or not seconds, but like whatever minutes, or super fast. You just reword it because it's what comes to the person's mind, or what emotion they feel when they read it. And so maybe it does take 5 minutes to assemble, but when you say 5 minutes, they're like, damn, I don't have 5 minutes, right? I'm gonna go watch Mandalorian and it starts in 3 minutes or something. I don't know. So I think that's a huge point that you said, and I have done that. Again, as I've scaled with more products, it becomes a little bit harder, and are but let's say you do have an issue or a product you really want to get to the next level, or a product that's lagging. Yeah, go show it to your friends, show it to whatever. And that's huge.
We have another, just on that, we have another tool, which is kind of cool, called the love-hate tool. And what that does is basically whatever keyword you put in, let's just say you put in pull-up bar again, it'll go in and actually pull out all the 5 and 4 star reviews and all the 1 and 2 star reviews across all of the products on that keyword search, and then word cloud, all the things that people love about a product and hate about a product in reviews.
Meaning the words that are most used. Is that what you mean?
Exactly. So it'll kind of roll them up into a word cloud. So you'll be able to see, hey, people, is it sturdy? They love sturdiness, or they don't like, the screws have to be longer, or for the whatever it is. But you will get real good insights there from actual customer reviews that you can then use in your listing. So you can, to your point, you can pull out you'll be able to see insights there, and you can be like, well, hold on, why is this important? And you can actually see the review and understand. So that allows you to, one, put that in your listing, but maybe two, put those as benefit overlays on some of your images, which really help with conversion. So it's a really cool tool to use. It just, we used to have like VAs do it, going through and just like trying to look at all the commonalities in reviews, and this does it for you in a couple of seconds. So it's pretty powerful.
That's brilliant. I like that. That's a good tool. Quick question on that. Amazon doesn't provide 2 reviews, right? So you're scraping Amazon for that, or what?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it's mostly that. We have a verified partnership with Amazon, so everything that we do is kind of approved by them, and we also get access to some data that's potentially some partners don't get, or other companies do. So whether we get access or whether it's scraped, I'm not entirely sure, but we get it.
Well, there you have it, one or the other. Okay, good. Sounds good. And that's a geek question. Maybe a lot of people don't want to know that, but I'm like, I remember when I was starting our software, so I'm like, how do we scrape? And the scraping was just like, I hate scraping. I'd rather just get the data, you know what I mean? So on our tool, we use all the APIs, right? Which for you guys that don't understand APIs, it's application programming interface. It's the way that two computers essentially talk to each other. So, they give you the data in a format where it's easily digested by another system. Okay, cool. So, when you started this, what was the first tool? Like, what was the flagship tool, right? Because I'm sure you didn't start with 15. Like, how did you start this, and what was the need you were solving?
Yeah, the first tools that we started with was a product research tool. So kind of pulling in, it's a Chrome extension. So similar to, Jungle Scout, getting sales estimates and helping people validate products, ideas just with sales estimates. That was kind of our first one. And then the other one was email
Oh,
automator, which is
email
basically,
automation. Oh, do you still do that?
oh, we still do it. Yeah. Yeah. And funny enough, there's been so many issues with like terms around asking for reviews, but of late, Amazon's officially come out and kind of said, okay, you can actually request a review. So we have a review automator, which obviously requests reviews from customers, but you can
Review
actually
button, right? That review button, you
yeah.
get access, and the bot goes and does it.
Yeah, so we automate that now, and then we also have the email automation, which basically emails customers asking for a review, and you can do that legitimately now, as long as you include the order ID and the review link, and obviously don't kind of say give me a positive review, just say hey, if you want a review, leave it here, and it works amazing. So those two together, your review rate just goes through the roof. So we
Now,
still have that.
just a caution. I don't think you could do both of them. I mean, again, I don't know what you're asking me here, guys, but for me, I would say, guys, like you're only supposed to ask for review one time. So if in the email you ask for a review, you then should not use the button. So what we do in our company is we use the button en masse, and then we do not mention review in the email at all, because it's somewhere in the terms that says like you can ask for review once. So I take that as don't do the email and the button, but I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, we interpreted that differently, and we had no problems with that. We you can use both, and the reason for that is one is through their review automated system, right? Which is like requesting a review using the review button. That's a totally different system to the email. So we take it as like, hey, we can ask once in email, right? And obviously you can dedupe that if someone's left a review, you don't have to include that. So technically it's two different systems, and how we know that Amazon works, they can never relate the two. So I would
you're recommending to just do both,
do
which
both.
I'm sure you get more reviews that way. So
Yeah, in different systems, you're doing it once through the specific terms of saying, hey, you can ask for a review once in email. That's it. Review automator and the button, that's a completely different system. You can use that once as well. Yeah.
fine. So again, that's not coming from me. It's coming from you. Just if anything happens, go complain at a Zonguru. Okay, good. Cool. So you start off with that. Are you still doing that kind of sales estimate tool as well, the Chrome extension? Or you guys just
Yeah, I mean it's way more complex now. Now we have we still have a Chrome extension, but it's called the niche radar, and it's kind of a way of validating a niche that's synonymous with Zonguru. It's fondly known as the rainbow, and what we do is we kind of answer four questions, right? Which is how much demand is there, because you have to know if people are buying the product. How much demand is there, but not too much, right? What's the how much competition is there? The competition opportunity. So is there enough competition but not too much? That's the other one. How much capital do you need to actually launch a product? So launch
how
budgets.
do you just estimate like a normal cost of goods, maybe 20%, or how do you? Obviously, you're not connected to Alibaba. You're not getting quotes for that product. How do you calculate that?
Exactly. So we take a percentage. Like I think it's under 30%. We kind of do our cost of goods, and then we look at the velocity of sales to be on page one, and then we kind of look at, okay, if you need like 3 months of stock, how much is that going to be, right? So you can play with that number in your head, because if you're taking the approach of saying, hey, I don't want to just get all 3 months of stock so I don't run out, I just want to go with 1 month, you can kind of lower that number, but it gives you a good velocity around how many sales are being done a day, how much budget do you need, and then the last one is profitability. So for that page and the amount of money that's being made and the competition level and everything, what's my potential chance of getting some of that profit or some of that revenue, and what kind of profit can I make on it. So it looks at price point and those kind of things. So those are key questions you have to know to be able to validate a niche. And we give that to you in a rainbow kind of score for each of those questions, right?
Rainbow score. Like a good rainbow or a good rainbow?
It's called the rainbow because it's kind of like a dial. And each is rated on a percentage, but we don't just give you one percentage, we break it down into those 4 components. So you can really kind of look at it in detail and go, okay, this niche rating is like 65%, but how does that break down when answering those 4 questions, you know? For example, you might have good demand, but then competition opportunity is like 0, you know, you can't get on the page. You have to use that to make your decision.
Does it change if you go to page 2 and then you have a new radar?
Yeah, so it's based on page, yeah. And then we have like things like kind of daily launch number that you need to sell to kind of get to page 1. We have a whole bunch of details. So
yeah, I think people love that number. I obviously, as you know already, that I don't. But anyway, okay, cool. Well, that sounds pretty good. One thing that is kind of interesting to me, and what I recommend obviously to everybody, is like this profitability, right? I don't know how you would calculate it software wise. I'm assuming if there's a lot of products that are $10 and some that are 15, you're assuming the 15, you know, it's going to make a lot more margin than 10. But like what I recommend is, guys, you need to get quotes for that model, because one page might have 5 different models, 5 different prices. And it's like, there's only so much a software is going to do. So, and the other thing, I haven't used your tool, but I've used, for example, Market Intelligence by Viral Launch. You know, Casey's, he's a good friend. And this score that says, like, if I had that tool and I was relying on that tool to like launch or not launch a product, I would have launched 0 products this year. Because every product I open is like, dude, stay away from this product. It's a terrible product. And I'm like, no, like, it's not a terrible product. So I think that some of these tools are mostly, you know, geared toward newer people, where you really want to find something that has extremely low competition. But maybe tell me kind of how your tool and how you do it. And I don't know if you've looked at that tool specifically and how it compares. Like, they have this product opportunity score. I'm assuming it's similar to like these rainbow dials you're talking about. But I've just found that there's too much scare tactics in that one, meaning it's like so much competition, where I launched products that are in some of the most competitive areas, and I don't care. I'm happy to do that, right? But we are a professional seller. We do have a video team. We have a photo team. We have an ads team. We have all these different things. So I don't recommend everybody do that. But like, how does yours compare? Is it mostly for newer guys? You want to find something extremely low competition, or how does your tool kind of say that?
I mean, you have some really good points that you just brought up there. And the first point I want to say before I answer that is I always tell everyone, when you're building an Amazon business, data is 50% of the solution to the problem. The other 50% is your business knowledge, your business savviness, your entrepreneurship, the learned skills that you have. And that's really, really critical, right? Because data will give you data, and it will help to inform and hopefully give you accurate, insightful information. But how you interpret that and the decisions you make is from what you've learned, you know? And so it's really critical that you look at data, you understand what is trying to be presented by the data, and then make your decisions based on how your kind of skill level, right? Mm-hmm. For example, when it comes to, you know, rating a niche, I talked about those 4 things: demand, competition, profitability, launch budget, capital. But the 5th one is differentiation, right? And that's a skill you have to learn, and it's a soft skill. You have to, how do I stand out? We can't give you data points to say this is how you differentiate it. You've got to, yes, love hate will give you some insights, but you know, making it pink is not gonna make you a winner. That's for sure. So, you know,
I don't know about that. Hold on, I don't know about that. I don't know. I might have to disagree with you. I think if you're the first pink to market, it could be a big deal. So
okay. But hold on, I totally hear you. You're going to be the winner maybe for the first month, but someone's going to copy you, and then you've lost that margin straight away. So
hasn't happened to us. I love the. I mean, for me, I would say for differentiation. Again, this is just me. If you have more colors than everyone else, and you have something that no one else offers, that's going to give you a humongous advantage. That's just me. And again, that's maybe also, it depends by niche. Like, I'm sure it's not the same in every single niche. But it does, I've seen it work extremely well where if you have the most things to offer, it can make a huge difference. So again, but if everyone else has 5 colors and you go in with 2 colors, it's not going to do shit for you. If everyone else has 10 colors, you go in 3, no big fucking deal. But if everybody has 1 or 2 and you come in with 5 or with 10, that's a huge, I mean, it is like crazy. And that's just me as a seller, right? As opposed to software.
Yeah. I guess the point I was making is that, yeah, if you go with just color as your differentiating point, it's from a long-term business perspective, I don't think it's going to hold true for keeping you ahead of the competition, right? I think if you're like, hey, you know what, like pink is going to make a massive difference up front and give me conversions, great, launch with that. It's something that you can, an important point.
Get a foothold, right? Get on
you're not over capitalizing on your differentiation. You're not like doing something that's so expensive that it's just going to push your profitability out, right? You're like, okay, I got the foothold, but then don't stop there. Look at ways you can iterate your product and improve it over time. You know, so yeah, okay.
Okay, sorry, I totally distracted you. So okay, you said the tool is 4 things. You were going to say what for news people, not for people.
The fifth one is differentiation, right? But to your point of how does this compare to market intelligence, I think one of the biggest things that we've done well over time that helps us to differentiate from other software solutions is that everything that we provide you is done through this idea of a business lens, right? We are people who have built products on Amazon. We're not just developers, we're sellers. I've got a very strong tie-in with kind of the education side of actually creating products on Amazon, scalable long-term products. And so we take all of that knowledge, and when we present data, we do it through the lens of a business lens. So we say, okay, we're not just giving you the data for the sake of data. We want to give it to you in a way that allows you to make business decisions. That's what, when I started Zonguru, I was like, we have a responsibility to give you accurate, timely, relevant data in the right way so you can make the right decision for your business, right? So that's kind of how we approach it. We do things differently to Viral Launch. In our niche finder, which is a similar tool, we give you, you have the ability to say, hey, am I new and I just want to get in and have less risk, or am I a heavy hitter and I've got more capital and I want to take more chance? So we give you different ratings and different ideas based on where
or something or what?
Yeah, it's just a different way of filtering the filters, so that it gives you a rating based on what type of hitter you are. If you're more risk averse and you have more capital and you've done it a couple of times, hit that setting. If you're like, I don't have much capital, I just want to get in the door, go with the research.
Yeah, it's not like, okay, show me things that have between 100 and 500 reviews, this BSR, that BSR, this much revenue, whatever. Boom. You're saying like, for the more seasoned guys, it's like, okay, try something medium difficulty, and it's going to say, fine, 500 reviews,
exactly.
maximum or whatever, rather than 30 or something for a new seller. Kind of, is that
exactly? Yeah, and then you can obviously customize the filters and everything you want as well. But the point, going back to your point, is that whatever software you use, at the end of the day, it's data that you should be using to make decisions on. So number one, understand the data and understand what the company that you're using is trying to present to you, right? And then if you really are clear on what that is, you can use your own judgments based on that, right? So if you're just going to go into Viral Launch and market intelligence, be like, oh well, I'm not going to go there because it says no, you're missing a trick, right? Same with Zonguru, if it's saying, hey, this is maybe not the best niche, well, look deeper, understand the points. Okay, well, it's slightly lower because of these, but actually, when I really look at it, I think
the product could be a different model. Like there's so many exceptions, and the other thing is too, it's a relative factor, right? And I've talked to people that are like, oh, I'm looking for product, what I do, that is not like, oh, this one says it's a bad opportunity. I've seen even, oh my gosh, the worst thing is in the Facebook groups, people take a screenshot of like a tool that says Zonguru. They're like, what do you think of this? Should I launch it? I'm like, guys, do not, if you open a spreadsheet and that's how you pick how you launch a product, that is bad. Like, do not do that, because the product itself will tell you so much more, right? Like, all the models look like crap. Okay, good. So then I have an opportunity there. There's so many different things to look at than just the spreadsheet, just the numbers. And so realize the software does not see the images. right? So anybody who's using it, like, realize you need to put your human touch into it and be like, well, all these guys are selling up, but they're all ugly as hell, or they only have one color, or none of them have video, or something. But you need to look at that, or like, what is the margin, right? Again, the software is only going to estimate. If you put the actual product cost into a calculator, do you have a calculator that says like, if it sold at this much, how much will it sell for?
Yeah, we have an access to a calculator. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, fine. So if anything, FBA calculator, and then you just put like the payout, and then you reduce the Alibaba price, but find out that real margin, the real stuff before you make a decision. And the other thing, one thing that I've done when doing product research, make a big list. Okay, 20 products, 30 products, at least 5 products, but let's say hopefully 20 products, and then compare the scores. Okay, so if there's a bunch of them that are whatever score you're talking about, and understand that score. What does it mean? And look at it to make sure and validate it. Because maybe there's a guy who's not selling anything, who's a low price, and it says, oh, no profitability, but nobody's even looking at that guy. So I recommend, like, guys, open the tool, use it. It's fine. Use that. Use Jungle Set, whatever you're going to use. Look at it and try to understand what those metrics mean, and then use it as a relative piece of information where you compare this to the other one, and make sure you do launch something. Because I was telling somebody this today. They asked me like, oh, I'm launching a product, whatever. And I'm like, okay, just go. Because it's kind of like baking a cake, okay? You could look at cake recipes all day. You could study the consistency of freaking cakes. You can do anything you want, and you could spend 10 years thinking about, man, I should have made a cake, right? No, go make a cake. Use whatever freaking recipe. Use a dollar store cake mix. I don't care. But get something up so you learn how to do it. You learn what the baking is like. You learn that stuff. And then once you've made like 5 cakes, maybe your 6th one will be good, right? Just like launching products. So don't go too crazy and obsess over the perfect recipe, the perfect launch screen, the perfect niche. No, go and sell something, learn, and then maybe the next time you'll do a better job. But the guys who definitely don't make money on Amazon are guys who never started their first product anyway.
Yeah, I mean, you said some things that really resonate with me there. One is, I said take the pressure off. If you're choosing a product, take the pressure off. This is not going to be, I can guarantee you right now, the chance of it being your $1 million product is freaking 2%, whatever it is. The point is like, understand what you learn, get one product live. It's probably when you get 4 or 5 or 6 products live on Amazon that you're now starting to hit those 6 or 7 figures, and you're really growing a proper business. It takes time. It's not going to be something that's going to, especially if you're just starting, get you out of the gate in the first couple of months. It's going to take time, but get a product live, and you have good business sense. Understand if it's going to be a winner, great. If it isn't, cut it, move on to your next one. Maybe find a product that has a product range so you can get one supplier. That's one of the tips I always tell people is like, if you're choosing between 2 products, one is you have to pull 3 different things to make one product, and it's only one product with one manufacturer, versus another product idea where you've got a manufacturer who has a range. They have like 1,000 products. Go with that one, because the hardest thing is finding the product manufacturer and having that relationship. And if you can get one product and then have another one and another one, another one behind it, you're killing it on Amazon. So that's why when furniture first came out, I was like, furniture's great, dude, because you speak to a manufacturer, they have 1,000 different products that I could actually launch with. So
do you have send me that supplier? If you know one, send it to me. I'll go source some furniture.
Yeah, dude, I have actually a great one. Yeah, I have a great one. The other thing is on that list of product ideas that you were talking about, like where people get so stuck and they're looking at the data and they're like, oh, is this perfect or whatever. What I say is exactly what you said. Is I say, go on Amazon or into our niche finder and have fun. Forget all the just pick based on your gut feel. 2 seconds. Is this cool? Put it down. Is this cool? Put it down. And get a list of 20 products. Then when you have 20 products, then take the knowledge you understand, the data points you have, and go back and look at that and pick out 5. Then, filter it down. So make it fun, take the pressure off, and just get down the rabbit hole, man. That's how you find these cool ideas. And to your point, we are in the amazing position right now today of being able to create a product and a brand that competes with a brand that was created 60 years ago, that is, making billions and billions of dollars. You can create a product right now. You can open any Amazon page, you'll see Nike and you'll see a
Zonguru shoes
doing better than that product, so it's happening today. So don't cut yourself short when you come up with a product idea. Don't look at what is just on Amazon. Go into Google Images and type in amazing pull-up bar, blah blah blah, and see what's out there on the marketplace. See the best brands, and use that as your inspiration to bring that product to Amazon. Amazon, at the end of the day, as a marketplace, wants to have the best products on there to offer their customers. That's how they make their money. So if you create a great product, you're going to get a shot from Amazon. Even if you try and do a bad job, they're going to give you a shot. And if your conversion rate is there, you're going to make cash. That's it.
Brilliant. God, you said so many great things right there. So first, take the pressure off, guys. Your first product, it's not like having a baby, guys. You don't have to spend 9 months like growing a baby and then go give birth. And like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not giving birth, guys. It's like, have fun. Be like, oh crap, I'm gonna do a freaking cell phone case. Oh wow, I'm gonna have a keyboard. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna launch a whatever, a pull-up bar. Like, have fun. My gosh, people forget about that. Like, God, please. So I highly recommend that. Test your product. Like, again, you're gonna talk to different suppliers. Your job is to make sure that product is good, right? So have fun. Like, I remember I bought like a bunch of stuff from all these factories in China, and I got all these models and stuff, and I tested it, and I'm like, okay, good. And I made this checklist, and like, okay, I told my wife, you test this one, and what do you think? And like, it's fun, right? So like, chill, take a freaking chill pill. It's like, it's maybe $500, man, $1,000, whatever it is. People lose that kind of money in a second on the stock market, on a bad investment, on timeshares that they got sold into, on so much different stuff. Look, don't worry about $500, $1,000. Like, hopefully, if you're blessed, you have a job and you'll be able to make that money. Great, right? I mean, obviously, if that's all your money, don't do private label. Go do reselling. You know what I mean? Get one product and if you can't lose $1,000. But most people have lost $1,000 and some sort of business deal, some sort of pitch, Bitcoin somewhere. Okay, so have fun. That's huge. The next thing you mentioned, and I mean, I love this point so bad, which is you could put your brand and you'll be right next to Nike. Okay, and you think, well, Nike, they're gonna smoke. People will love Nike. Maybe Nike will, right? Shoes, I don't know. I have never done private label shoes.
Shoes is probably a bad example.
Let's say that microphone you have there, which is Blue Mic or on mic or whatever, okay? You have this big brand, okay? You could literally make something special, do a special color, make it gold, put a smiley face on it, make it a different shape, make it circle, make it square, make it freaking obelisk shaped, whatever you want. Put it next to it. And here's the deal. With like 50 cents or $1.50, you can put your thing right next to theirs. And if people buy yours, you immediately have a brand you're immediately selling. What's super crazy, first of all, two things. Back in the day, you would have to know somebody at Walmart or at Ross or at Marshall's. You'd have to pitch it to them. They are the gatekeepers. There is no gatekeeper. Bezos will let you put your product on unless it's like a natural health book, which might get banned. Okay. Or if it's something that might get banned, they're selling like sex toys, which they don't ban them. They just don't put them in search. So like different things might get banned. Okay. But most physical products Bezos will let you on there. There is no restrictions. You can absolutely do it. And that's crazy. Second of all, huge point, these big brands, I promise you, I don't know exactly at Nike, but like most of these brands, they have maybe hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of employees, and their Amazon teams are like 3 people.
They have no idea what they do.
One person. 5, like I know of a few companies and they have no Amazon team. Like up to 5 years ago, it was almost like, do not let them put people on Amazon. Like that was these big brands, like, do not get on Amazon. Amazon's terrible. Their enemy, da-da-da. Like, so while they're ignoring Amazon, which might happen only like some people are getting on Amazon now heavy, right? Some bigger brands, but most of them are still ignoring it. They will ignore it for 5 years, 10 years, who knows? Maybe only 2 years. So jump on it now, because at some point Nike's going to have a 200-person team on Amazon. They don't have it now, as far as I know. And Nike, it's just because we're talking about Nike, but like Pull-Up Bar, Everlast, I guess is a company that does like that stuff. I would almost bet a ton of money that Everlast has less than 5 people focusing on Amazon for hundreds or if not thousands of products. They may even have 1 or 0. So it is the prime moment to jump on, and do not think, oh, they're a big brand, I don't stand a chance. These big brands are getting crushed all day on Amazon because people just use a tool like Zonguru and like, oh, I should have a keyword that someone else doesn't have. It's so simple to be better than some of these big brands in a lot of categories. So anyway.
Boom. Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think the key difference now between now and maybe 2 years ago, obviously with this pandemic and kind of, we've almost fast forwarded e-commerce for brands 5 years from where we thought they were going to be, right? They're all jumping on Amazon globally, and they all have big PPC budgets, right? So I think if you're choosing products these days, and there's even more sellers on there, there's more customers. So this idea of going more niche within a niche and really finding a unique product idea with, a unique audience, that's kind of where you want to go and stay away from potentially where these consumable products are, some of these bigger brands where maybe you're not going to compete as much on PPC. So, I think there's things you can do differently, but sure as hell, like I speak to these big brands all the time, they don't even understand what listing optimization is. Like you can totally crush them. And yes, you can differentiate the product, but even just really getting smart with your imagery, like you can totally crush, man. So the opportunity is there. I think at a high level, I agree with you. Like get a product live as soon as you can. And if it isn't a great product because you work to just get it live, make sure you cut it and you don't try and just better that one product. Try and find a manufacturer that maybe has a line so that once you establish a great relationship, you can just easily just scale that business. Hughes, by the way, we have an exclusive relationship with Alibaba, so we have filters in there, so you actually get the best private label manufacturers from Alibaba matched.
Whoa. You what? So how do can we get a piece of that? How does that work?
Yeah, so it's integrated into our Chrome extension, and then we have a tool inside of Zonguru called Easy Source, and you can literally just type in any keyword, and it's going to bring you the top 15 recommended manufacturers for private label, and we base that on a bunch of things.
How do you wait? Alibaba tells you, or what metric you have an API? Like, tell me about this partnership.
Yeah, so probably a year and a half ago, it was probably a year ago now, Alibaba.com was like, hey, we understand that private label sellers are this global force globally. We want to connect more with them, and one way we can get in front of them is to go through software providers. So they pitched it out to all the big players. We won the pitch. I went up to San Francisco, the head office there, chatted with them. They were like, "We like what you're doing. You guys are aligned with what we want to do. Let's form a partnership here. We'll give you exclusive access to our data, and you guys work with it and present it to your customers." So we worked with them by and that's
what data? What kind of data are you getting here?
All of their manufacturer data. Yeah. So one of the things with Alibaba.
What does that mean though? All of this, that's too big. Like, what do you mean? What do you have like that you can't filter on Alibaba?
So I think it's not only, so you can filter with the normal filters like country. You can base it on trade assurance. You can base it on like ratings. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head all the filters that are in there, but there's a whole bunch of filters. But I think the key thing there is in the data that we have, we also have access to see things like do they sell in the USA? What kind of volume have they done? Have they sold to other Amazon suppliers, manufacturers?
How does even Alibaba know?
Well, they know it, right? So I think what we do is there's so many different data points, but
so you have a thing has sold to Amazon, yes or no, or like
I think it has sold to e-commerce sellers who sell on ecom, right? I think when you sign up and you go with Alibaba, they have inferences to know whether it's an e-commerce brand or not, right? So has sold, understand all of the right legislator that you have to pass through to have it validated for the US market, for the European market, whichever market you're selling on. Anyway, the point being is that with all the data points that we have coming in, as developers who are sellers, which we have, we looked at all the data and we said, okay, we need to apply a filter on top of that, because there's literally thousands and thousands of suppliers that come through, right? When you go to Alibaba and you type it in, there's thousands. So we filter it through. We take out all the ads. We take out all of we put on all the filters we want, and then we showcase, hey, these are the best sellers we believe is right for you in the markets you sell in, Amazon Europe, wherever it is, US Europe, wherever it is. And
based on product or just supplier. So like, let's say this guy, let's say they're selling, a cell phone case. Okay. They also sell, I don't know, car parts or something, right? So if I'm searching car parts, when you do your filter, is it going to rate the supplier at a certain level and then just give you the best suppliers? Or is it going to rate the supplier and this product as a combination and kind of like, this supplier is good for this product, or how does that work?
Yeah, so it's based on keyword, right? So they match it to keyword. So if that manufacturer sells more than that one product, they're going to match based on that keyword. So if they sell that, they're going to match. But obviously, if you put a different keyword and they sell that similar product, they'll match there as well. So it's keyword driven. So I guess at the end of the day, like everyone's like, oh, well, hey, I'm only getting 15 results with this tool,
you need one supplier, right? You need one supplier. You don't 20, right?
Well, and some people are like, oh, let me go on Alibaba and find other ones. And I guarantee you, everyone who goes and looks through Alibaba, and it happens all the time. We have like testimonials. People are like, yeah, I didn't really trust that you guys gave me the best. I spent 7 hours on Alibaba putting out pictures, trying to find the best ones. At the end of the day, the guy that I chose is, the guy that you have there every time. So
you like to give this to people who are moving the most volume of the product because clearly they're most professional, or what's kind of your skewing to give the best?
Yeah, there's definitely historical sales, which is important, and then there's ratings, which are important on that. There's trade assurance, which is also a critical piece, just to show stability. Trade assurance, I don't know if you're familiar on Alibaba, but basically it's a program that the manufacturers can participate in, that every single sale they make, they put it through the trade assurance program. So you can literally, that number that they have in there is actually the amount of volume and sales that they did with whatever country. So that's a key one as well.
I don't recommend anybody to trade assurance. I've never seen anybody get gypped from a Chinese supplier and like not get sent product. And trade assurance, I'm assuming, is like if they don't send it to you or something, and like you get a refund from Alibaba.
Yeah, trade assurance is good. Yeah.
Really?
You don't recommend or do recommend?
Do not. It costs money for the suppliers. I just think I've never seen someone get screwed without trade assurance, right? I think Alibaba puts it up because US people, when they start to sell, they're like, I'm going to wire this money and like, I'm never going to get this product. So far, and we've, sent out more than $10 million of product purchases. Not a single person just didn't send a product or like gave us, something totally wrong. So
yeah,
maybe we do good inspections and whatnot, but I don't see the big need for trade assurance.
I think the answer is it shouldn't be your necessarily your deciding factor, trade assurance or not. I would say that if someone is part of the trade assurance program, it is more legitimate. It's one of my key kind of like initial filters. And
again, just to backtrack, I agree that if they're in the trade assurance program, it means they have confidence in themselves, and it's good that someone has it. But I don't think that you should use it when buying from that supplier. So that's two different kind of aspects. I'm not saying they have trade insurance is bad. They have trade insurance, great, fantastic. Go ahead. That supplier probably is more trusted, but I don't recommend using the program, or especially long term.
Yeah, there are benefits that come with trade insurance as well. I think your access to loans from Alibaba, which can help you with capital. their Best Buy program, which is just about to be launched. There's a whole, at the end of the day, Alibaba wants to keep you in the ecosystem, right, of Alibaba, from manufacturer to delivery in the US, and they try and incentivize that with a bunch of things. So it's worth looking into, because at the end of the day, trade assurance and being part of that program allows you access to a lot of other stuff that they have and that's coming up. So I would say investigate it more. But at the end of the day, if you're finding a supplier that isn't part of that it by no means should discount you using that supplier, because people are like, oh well, I'm not sure. If someone has a bad experience with a manufacturer on Alibaba.com, it's because they didn't ask smart questions up front. And if you're not educated enough to make those decisions, it's on you. It's not on them. So make sure you ask the right questions, because it's very quick. I ask the right questions and I'm like, didn't pass the sniff test, move on to someone else. You got to use your business sense there. That's it.
Yeah, and of course there are some poor suppliers, just like anywhere else, right? So, we've had our poor suppliers and whatnot, but probably with questions you'll be able to filter them. But again, guys, if you had a bad experience, it may not also be your fault, just because there's some percentage. But if you had like two suppliers, 3 suppliers bad in a row, like you're probably doing something extremely wrong, and probably go find a course somewhere on YouTube and like find out how to
it's a typical case. People are like, oh well, I had this amazing product and then I got my shipment in, it arrived in Amazon and they trashed it because it was a piece of shit.
Well, again, that's most likely it's no inspection too. I think the inspection is
did you do an inspection? No. Well, it's your fault, dude. Sorry.
Absolutely. Okay. So I've been taking up a ton of your time already. So just if you want to tell the viewers or the listeners just one final thing about any advice to grow their company. Obviously, you've seen a lot of data in your software. What advice you give them, and then let them know where to find you, how to sign up for Zonguru, etc.
Yeah, I'd say the first point is use Zonguru. I'm just kidding. No, we just looked at some of our data and it's pretty cool to see, man. I think on average, our customers grew their revenue by 7.6x 2019 to 2020 using Zonguru. Some of them
whoa! Almost 8x?
Yeah. When we looked at our numbers year over year, average is 8x growth. Some people grew 22x. So
damn, I'm in the lowest percentile.
Look, it's not all Zonguru, right? Obviously, a lot of the pandemic stuff has helped to move.
Oh, right. Because some people maybe 100x. Like, oh, I was selling nothing, now I sell hand sanitizer. Now I went up 100x.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think our highest was like 22x or 23x. But look, I would say the best advice.
An average. Hold on.
Average, yeah.
7x growth, and so you're averaging not the revenue, but like let's say one person went from 1,000 in sales to 22,000, like you said, that'll be 22x, and then that number is average to someone else who went from whatever 10 mil.
It's not the median.
It was only 50%, and then that would kind of be average, right?
Yeah, it's the average, yeah.
And so, I guess that means. And what's the average revenue on Zonguru? Do you know that? Or can you share that?
I don't actually know. I don't know if I can share, but I don't actually know the average revenue. But I mean, we have everything from 10 to 20 million a month. $10,000 to 20 million a month kind of thing. There's some big brands on there. Yeah. Look, I think the 2 pieces of advice for starters, right? And then I'll give one for sellers.
Sure.
For starters, get a product live. And we've already covered that, right? Just get a damn product live. And don't be like, oh, well, it's too busy now. It's like, dude.
Just do it. It doesn't matter what it is. Just go.
Yeah?
Yeah, I agree. Okay.
If you can learn it now and you're not successful, when you're 65 and you have no damn job, do this, okay? So get a product live. Second thing is envision a brand, right? And one of the best things that I've learned around Amazon is the best place to launch a product and a brand is Amazon, because you have demand, you have a great conversion rate. But envision your brand beyond Amazon, right? If you can use Amazon as your lead magnet to get the sale, but you create a brand and a brand experience on a Shopify website, and you can get them there to engage with your brand, buy other products, and build beyond Amazon, that is when you're going to have a truly scalable, successful business. So your focus should be Amazon right now. Get that thing going, and trust me, if you do it right, your problem is going to be staying in stock for the first 2 years, and get that nailed. But think about how I can build in these systems to get people to my Shopify, to get a customer brand, to get a customer audience there. Really build that over time, because that's when you're going to create a really scalable brand that Walmart is going to be ordering product from you down the road. So that's how I would envision what you can create here. And then I think for sellers, I think at the end of the day, it's going back to that first point that we made, which is like, if you're sucking, have you really truly optimized your listing, your images, and do you really understand PPC? Because if you don't understand those, start there. Don't go and like try and get reviews and black hat stuff and do whatever. Do it right with Amazon, and you'll crush it.
Awesome, man. Great advice. Perfect. And if you do have problems with PPC, you can do the free course, Samurai Seller Power User course. I'll put it in the show notes as well. Because we teach Amazon for ads for free. It's such an easy, and I don't know about easy, but it's very doable to understand and learn. So it is a key thing. Okay, awesome, guys. So if you want to try out Zonguru, zonguru.com, just check out. I really recommend at least trying the tool. I've tried tons of tools, and it's really one of my favorites. So appreciate you coming on, Jon.
Yeah, check it out, zonguru.com. Check us out on Instagram as well, because it's basically a feed of product ideas and inspiration to really help you. Check out our blog, man. We've spent a lot of time in the education side. So if you want to understand how to create $1 million product challenge, we've got that. We have like case studies, a whole bunch of educational stuff. Check that out as well. And I think there's a holiday special happening on the homepage. You can get 50% off. Just hit that. Just get on, start using it. And if you want to connect with our support team, they're passionate as well. So you will have a good time, and we'll look after you if you check out Zonguru.
Awesome. Thanks, bye.